evening, Keepers of the Cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and joining me this Thursday, we have none other than Mr. Mark Andrews in the co-hosting seat. Jim is out taking care of some family business. Our best wishes and most heartfelt wishes go out to Jim. Hope everything's going as smooth as it can for you, buddy. And Mark, how are you this evening?
I am very well, Gary. Doing okay, and I might be slightly distracted by a hockey game that's going on as we are doing this live stream. So if we both disappear for a few minutes, it's because something happened.
Right?
Yeah, you can handle this all on your own, right? You got this.
Some Maple Leafs scored a goal.
Yeah, here, Gary, talk about this. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys haven't had this good a team in a while, though. It's exciting for Toronto.
It's looking pretty good, gotta say.
We'll see.
Well, I know my Devils aren't going to do anything because they're sucking right now. So when the Devils go out, I'll be rooting Toronto all the way.
Good. There we go.
So if the Devils can't win it, I have no problem with the Leafs winning it.
Well, I would be really happy if they did, because I remember the last time they won the cup. If that gives you any indication.
And Mark was only 43 at the time.
Yeah.
I can't say I recall that ever happening. I heard it did.
It did.
Yeah.
Dave Keon holding the cup.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
and just the shows you can watch about the stories with the cup. That cup's seen it all. But Adrian, great to have you here tonight, sir. Thanks for coming back yet again. You want to do this album version? We got you on. I can't wait to see what kind of music you bring us tonight, because I know there'll be some eccentric things in there, which I'm going to love. But first of all, who are you besides a Leafs fan and a good Canadian boy? Who are you? What's your channel about, and where can people find you?
My name's Adrian, aka Actual Dracula. I'm a hockey fan and a good Canadian boy, and you can find me as Actual Dracula on YouTube and Instagram. I don't do my posts on YouTube are very sporadic, but I do comic book and art content, and I'm an artist as well, so that's been my primary focus. I'm working on a comic book right now, and so I'm hoping as I work on this book, I'll be putting out some content about that, hopefully fairly soon. So
nice,
nice.
That's what we had. A few people start popping in. We got Ruby G. Good evening, sir. Phil's Treehouse. How you doing tonight, Phil? Cali Comics. Good evening, sir. Mr. Kenneth Bird. And looks like we're getting a few more in. As people pop in and start chiming in the chat, I will give them a quick tip of the hat. But we're going to bring it right back to Adrian, and we're just going to start out with your first item, sir. Now, first of all, though, why do you want to do an album version? Like, is vinyl near and dear to your heart?
I would just say music in general. I have a small record collection, but I think there's some pretty cool things in it. And I saw Tate do it, and I was like, I'd like to show off some of these records I got. Why not?
It's just this is our fourth or fifth album show, so people seem to like them.
Yeah.
All right, so start us out with your first one then, bud.
Okay, first pick is gonna be one of my favorite bands ever, and this is the only album I've picked that's not a 12-inch LP. This is actually a 10-inch, and this is Iggy and the Stooges.
Ooh,
Rough Power. So this is basically so the Stooges Raw Power, which is I think one of the greatest albums ever made. Now, of course, that there's like two kind of definitive mixes of that. The one most people have heard was David Bowie came into the studio and he mixed that album, Raw Power. And then I don't know, sometime in the 90s, I want to say, a different version was released that was like Iggy's mix of the album, which I think, had there was I guess mixed reviews on that. Some people thought it sounded terrible. And then the Rough Power, I'm not entirely sure what this is. I think this is just some kind of, it's 4 tracks from Raw Power, but it's kind of I guess an entirely different mix by the Stooges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's just 4 tracks. It's a 10-inch.
And
But-
Iggy's great. Talk about a dude with presence, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like you can't ignore Iggy whenever you see him. He's just there and a great performer. He's always looked on the verge of collapsing, but he's always putting on a great show.
But those, those first 3 Stooges albums, the first one, Funhouse and Raw Power, just such important records, so influential, and especially at the time, some of the just heaviest and raw stuff anyone was doing. Like there was no one like the Stooges. They were incredible.
Right. And one of the things I always liked about Iggy is, his music right away. He has his own distinctive sound, and whenever you hear Iggy, it's Iggy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, that's a great first pick.
Bleeker says Iggy's still alive, and that's a real miracle. Yeah.
Oh, are you sure? Have you seen him lately? Like,
yeah. You know what's funny was when they're using his song on the cruise lines commercial. I'm like, do they really know what this song's about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they look too carefully at some of the lyrics.
That would come out.
Raw Power?
No, I know but that particular
this was, I want to say 2000 something. Oh no, this one's 94. Sorry, this is 94.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Raw Power's been out for a long time.
Well, I just looked him up. Iggy is 78 years old right now. So he probably just looks like a 78-year-old man.
Yeah, like a 78-year-old rocker. Like,
yeah.
Cool.
And knowing how hard that dude partied, he's probably like loving that he's hit 78.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But a guy you rarely see with a shirt on.
Very rarely. Yeah.
Exactly, Bleeker. Stay tuned too, because we got Damien. We got Bleak's horror episode coming up soon.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But that's a great start. You got earn some points, some extra points on that pick.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Yeah. So go from the Stooges into another one of my favorite bands. Creedence. This is Bayou Country, Creedence Clearwater Revival.
CCR.
Yeah. And I love this cover. That of course there's the boys on the back.
Yeah.
And like Creedence is a band I've been listening to for a very long time. I would say everyone at some point in their life kind of discovers all the classic rock bands, Beatles, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, all of that. But Creedence was probably the first that I really got into for whatever reason. And did I just hold on a second. There we go. So Bayou Country, this is their second album. What's crazy is they released 3 albums in the same year. This was what year was this? 69, I think. They put out 3 albums that year. Yeah.
They were on fire.
And they're giving it the Prince treatment, huh?
Yeah. And I can't really say this is necessarily my favorite. I mean, this has Born on the Bayou, which might be my favorite CCR song. But I almost picked there's a great album that came out, I want to say about 5 or 6 years ago, which is Creedence Live at Woodstock. And that's amazing because I don't know if you probably know the story about that, but of course Creedence performed at Woodstock. When most people think of Woodstock, they think of Jimi Hendrix and Santana and Joe Cocker, all those great performances. But I guess a lot of people don't realize that CCR put out on an amazing set because it did not end up on any of the Woodstock albums or movie because John Fogerty, I guess, was disappointed with the band and he didn't allow them to use any of the recording for anything.
Well, I was just going to ask if it was a rights issue because I can't really see them.
He didn't want them to use it. Yeah, he didn't like it, the set apparently, and he was like, "Yeah, you can't use this for any of your Woodstock stuff." So, but so their live album was finally put out about 5 years ago, and it's excellent. Just an amazing set. I was like, why would you not want to put that out? It's it's so good. But John Fogerty he's had a lot of issues, with his band. He's kind of a control freak. He did write all the songs, but
right.
So be it. Incredible songwriter, though.
Incredible songwriter.
Yeah,
and they were just doing stuff that no one had ever heard before when they first came out, and that it was just you had people running around back in those days with the albums and just sitting there having these blast offs between on what the music was. And when you're the youngest kid of 5 kids and they're all older than you listen to all of that kind of music. So I was indoctrinated into CCR when I was 7.
So, me too. Or I was probably maybe around 10, 11 years old when I first started listening to them. Yeah.
And I fell in
Damien
love
says
with
it had his song publishing stolen from him, if he remembers correctly.
That could be. Yeah. Well, I know also CCR are only reunited one time ever, and it was for Tom Fogerty's wedding. That was the only reunion show they ever did because they were only together for, I don't know, several years, not very long, 4 years or something. Yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah, but to have that influence to this day still after that.
Yeah.
After all
yeah.
Yeah.
Every Vietnam scene ever. Yeah. But yeah, no, I just love them. Always love CCR and the swamp rock sound. Also, in terms of the southern rock, I'm also a huge fan of Skynyrd. I didn't pick out one of their albums, but love Skynyrd. Although I gotta go, I would say CCR all day for sure.
All right. See, I got a band circled here that I hope you show tonight, and if you don't, I'll tell you after the show.
Okay, sounds good. I guess that one last point on CCR. That was one thing that always, when I found out that they weren't from the South and they were from California, I was like, "What the hell? What? Okay,
right? Yeah. How do they capture that style of music?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're born on the bayou.
Not only capture it, but define it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's CCR. It's my second pick. All right.
Number 3.
Bleeker loves singing CCR for karaoke. Yeah. Good call.
Yeah.
Just everybody else doesn't like him singing it for
okay, my next pick is a compilation, actually. This is called Brown Acid. This is the 7th trip. This is volume 7 of the Brown Acid series, which is compilations of underground 60s and 70s garage bands. Really excellent. This is actually the only, I haven't heard the other volumes of this yet, but this one's excellent. It's got, a bunch of bands you've probably never heard of, like Pegasus, Nobody's Children, CT, Pilfer Hog, Blizzard. I mean, I'm not familiar with these bands before, but really excellent compilation. If you're really into 60s psychedelic garage rock stuff. It's very similar to another series called Pebbles, the Pebbles compilations. Also just 60s garage stuff. But Brown Acid is more underground and typically heavier sounding bands. So like kind of proto metal bands almost. Yeah, really, really great stuff.
You're kind of a
here.
retro guy when it comes to music.
I mean, I'm all over the place. So, but yeah, I like a lot of
Careful,
a lot of 60s and 70s stuff. Yeah.
Careful on that retro crap. That's some of that's current good music.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to be getting to Throbbing Gristle.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no, I don't have any Throbbing Gristle. But yeah, if you're into
that's a cool cover too.
60s garage stuff, check out this, and definitely check out Pebbles. Pebbles is like a really good mix of some of the more popular garage stuff combined with a bit of the heavier stuff. But yeah, and there's like I don't know how many volumes of Pebbles, like at least a dozen, maybe 20.
Wow, and I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, and Brown Acid, I think there's like 10 or 12 volumes of Brown Acid as well.
Wow.
I mean, because there was a ton of that music out there recorded at that time that, bands nobody's ever heard of. They maybe made one album that just went nowhere and they end up on these compilations. So,
well, at least their music saw some more life. That's a positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at least you can brag about that if you're a garage band, right? I made a compilation. I ended up on a compilation.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that on eBay. I just checked to look. There's all, and the prices aren't bad. And there's a whack of albums.
Yep.
Callie, don't take the Brown Acid.
Yeah, I'm circling back to Woodstock. Right there we go. I highly doubt any of these bands were played at Woodstock, but they did end up on this album. So
right, nice. All right, another solid pick. Number 4.
All right, number 4. I'm going to go to something a bit more modern, or at least compared to that. I listen to a lot of metal, have for most of my life, and my favorite metal band of all time is Slayer.
Oh, okay.
So
listened to a lot of them back in the day.
Yeah. So this is Show No Mercy, Slayer's first album. Not my favorite Slayer album, but it is their best album cover. It's my favorite for sure. I mean, that
is a good one.
It's iconic. Great back cover too, of course, with Jeff Hanneman with the upside down cross. That's classic 80s metal stuff here.
Yep.
Slayer, I mean, just for me, greatest thrash metal band of all time. Metallica are a close second, but for me, Slayer has always been number 1. I will say Metallica's first album, Kill 'Em All, blows Show No Mercy out of the water. That is a way better album than Show No Mercy. But then Slayer went and did Rain and Blood, which is I'd say is still my favorite metal album ever.
So would that be your favorite metal
songs on it though?
cover?
This has Black Magic. It has what else? Final Command. Yeah, some good stuff on here. Nice. Sorry, what were you saying?
I said, is that your favorite heavy metal cover?
It's one of them. Yeah. It's definitely up there. Very Dungeons.
Very Dungeons. When you're getting painted covers from these incredible artists, like some of those covers are unbeatable. They're just amazing, some of the covers.
Yeah.
And then now I'm having flashbacks that whole time period. Then you had like the Christian metal band Striper.
Oh God, yeah.
Remember that?
Striper.
They were like big for like a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, the rest of my picks are all different Japanese imports of Striper. So
right there you go.
alert.
He likes their South of Heaven cover.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Because they did this, which is a very typical like evil looking metal album cover, but then you see the cover to Rain and Blood or the cover to Seasons in the Abyss and South of Heaven. These they're paintings, and they do not look like typical kind of metal covers of that time. Really great covers as well. But still, I like the kind of just over the top. Like, there's no question what you're about to listen to here.
Right.
It's
you got
Slayer.
a demon goat, and you got the star.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. The terrible lettering, but I love it.
It works for that cover.
Yeah.
It is terrible. It looks like somebody in high school was doodling in their book. Like,
yeah, that's the vibe, and I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, another good pick.
Yeah.
All right, so far you have not disappointed, Adrian. You've had some fun stuff.
Feel no pressure.
I hope not to. Okay. I am gonna continue the theme of some thrash metal, but with a modern band. And this is Nightmare Logic by Power Trip. And
I haven't heard of them.
So Power Trip, they might be my favorite like current metal band. They've been around, I want to say, when did this come out? 2017. So they've been around about 10 years now. And they're from, I want to say, Texas. So I think they kind of like Slayer were like a metal band, but they always had, that punk kind of element to them. And Power Trip really, I think, their combination of like thrash metal, punk, and hardcore is kind of unparalleled. Like, they mix it all together just perfectly. When I first heard them, I was just like blown away. I because I've listened to so many different metal bands over the years.
Right.
But there's few that really, like really hit the way Power Trip did the first time I heard them. I couldn't. Yeah, it's one of my highest recommendations.
You remind me of a group I really like, and I listen to them here and there still once in a while. But Power Mad, you ever heard of them?
No, I haven't.
Okay, really good.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Power Trip's lead singer Riley Gale passed away. I think it was 2 years ago. Fortunately, I got to see them once the year before that, and it was, of course, they were incredible live. The band is still together now, though, with a new vocalist, so they are currently touring. I can't recommend Power Trip enough. If you're into thrash metal, hardcore, punk, just such an excellent combination of those genres, and really just kind of make it their own thing. There's a lot of bands that sound similar to Power Trip, but they're just like, okay, well, we're just gonna take what you guys are doing and just turn it to 11 and just make it the best. This is one of the best, albums I think I've heard in the past 10 years. So
wow.
Yeah.
High praise.
Yeah. That is high praise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Power Trip. So good.
Good. Nice and a cool painted cover on that too.
Yeah, it's kind of got like there's a lot of stuff going on that cover.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. It's like there is a skull there and a bunch of skulls. And
Yeah, the skull that morphs into a
very,
live head, but not, and all sorts of cool stuff.
very messy painting. The back is just black.
Just black. Now, is the replacement singer is he do you know if are they still pulling it off, or is it?
I haven't heard him yet because they haven't recorded anything with him yet. To my knowledge, they've just been touring, so I haven't actually heard him his vocals yet. I imagine they're still really good. I'm definitely going to see them next time I have the chance. So
nice.
Yeah.
It's tough when bands replace singers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, you know, when Queen did it, I'm like, yeah, no one's ever replacing Freddie Mercury. Like, you guys are good guest stars, but you're a guest star. You're not Freddie Mercury.
No.
Yeah. I mean, with that, it is a different case because it's Freddie Mercury. With like, say, like a metal band, it's probably a bit easier to get away with it because of the vocals. There's a lot of screaming, or you know, it's just loud. So you know, it's not the same thing as Freddie Mercury.
Just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one of the better examples, though. That's one of the rarities.
Yeah. They lucked out. AC/DC lucked out when they did that.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot of people liked Van Halen better when but for me, it's David Lee Roth, Van Halen all the way.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even liked David Lee Roth solo stuff. I liked a lot too.
You just liked his videos, Gary.
Well, you know, he knew how to put the ladies in them.
Yeah.
All right, number 6, sir.
Okay, number 6 is something very different now.
I like the Foo Fighters. I didn't like Nirvana. Controversial, I know.
You didn't like Nirvana?
No. I'm a big Dave Grohl fan. I did not like Kurt Cobain at all. My
first pick was almost a Nirvana album because they were like my first like favorite band. So
you're not the only one, but they just never clicked for me. Like like as soon as Dave Grohl broke off and the Foo Fighters started, I'm like that band was holding him back. Like Nirvana was holding Dave Grohl back. He's great.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from with that. Yeah. I still love Nirvana though.
That's all right. I'm going to do my best not to hold it against you. Okay.
That's you don't have to listen to them if you don't want.
And Gore's got just the gigolo stuck in his head.
Yeah, absolutely. On Dave's TV.
Right.
Sorry.
Yes, number 6. Sorry, Jack. We're
okay.
In the way.
What am I doing? Oh, yes. Okay. So I listen to a lot of hip hop, and I don't have very much hip hop on vinyl. But I did have to own this because it's one of my favorite hip hop albums ever. It's Jay Dilla's Donuts. And this is all. So Jay Dilla, very prolific producer, rapper as well, but probably best known as a producer. Produced, stuff for a lot of other people. He's from Detroit, but his own work, kind of is my favorite. So this is all just instrumental stuff. This is all just beats, and they're all the tracks are fairly short. There's I don't know however many tracks that is.
Wow.
Yeah, that's quite a few though.
Yeah. But start to finish, this is like in my top 10 forever. One of my favorite albums of all time. Just unparalleled beat making. He's is one of my favorite hip hop producers ever. And this album, I think, is just his masterpiece. and unfortunately, he passed away 3 days after this album was released.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and that was obviously terrible, because this, when I heard this, I was just blown away. It's incredible work. Some of my favorite, just his use of samples, soul samples in particular, his drums, Dillo's just crazy with his drums. Like, he had such a unique sound. Once you start getting into Jay Dilla, you can kind of like recognize that it's one of his beats kind of right away. And he was making beats on his deathbed. He actually died from complications from lupus, which is a very strange disease. Yeah.
Lupus, that's the nasty disease, man.
Yeah. And he was pretty young. I think he was still in his 30s, maybe early 40s, but I think in his 30s. But yeah, he did stuff with Slum Village, Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang Clan even. But his solo stuff, particularly Donuts, is my favorite. And so Jay Dilla gets my highest recommendation for sure.
Nice. And you had DJ Links backing you in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
that's
my fun. What number is this? 6 or?
That was number 6, sir.
Okay. So there's Donuts. All right, number 6. I'm gonna go with. Well,
this is number 7.
Number 7. I'm going with a 90s banger. Portishead Dummy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember when this came out. I'd never really heard
the radio on without hearing them.
Yeah. But I absolutely loved it. Fell in this love with this album right away. Everything about it. Yeah, another one start to finish. It's a perfect album in my opinion. Just everything about the whole atmosphere of this album, the vocals, the beats, just the bass lines in it, and all just the atmospheric samples that they used were just like, it's just it's an essential trip hop album. It really is. There's not much else to say about it. If you haven't heard it, you should,
probably listen to it. Their sound too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so, and like, this is one of those albums that I don't listen to very often, but I have to listen to it, every once in a while at least, just kind of to remind myself how good it is. But
that was late 90s, right?
Yeah, I want to say 94.
94. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so good. And I remember I was working at a restaurant once as a dishwasher, and one of the guys I worked with said that sometimes, like when the kitchen was closing, sometimes he said he would put this on to get the customers to leave, which
wow.
I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on your customers. It's either going to make them want to stay longer, or they don't want to fall asleep at the restaurant. But a very just chill album, but also, a bit spooky, and there's just some really great beats on here as well. So yeah, that's Portishead.
Hey, nice, another good surprise pick.
Yeah. Okay. And I had trying to decide between 2 albums here. And I think I'm gonna go with the weirder of the 2, maybe.
Ooh, okay.
I'll go with the weirder of the two. Why not? So because I'll just show you what I'm not showing that, but that's Gary Newman. No, this I'm gonna go with the soundtrack. I'm gonna go with the soundtrack pick here, and this is the soundtrack. A very odd, but very good soundtrack for the very weird movie by Harmony Korine, Gummo. And so this, I don't know if you guys ever saw Gummo.
No.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Never even heard of it, actually.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. Because there's no other movie like that. Here's you might have seen that image before. I don't know, the bunny kid. But so Harmony Korine, indie filmmaker, he wrote the movie Kids in the early 90s.
Yeah.
That was a bit controversial. And then he made this movie Gummo, and then a whole bunch of other weird movies after that. But the Gummo soundtrack is pretty strange because it's a lot of metal. There's a lot of black metal and some punk, and there's doom metal. This band Sleep, and then there's like one classical cello song, and then there's a weird kind of sounds like some old woman singing Jesus Loves Me, combined with this weird, and then there's like just weird German metal stuff. It's a very strange soundtrack, but it kind of works with the movie, which is very hard to describe. You just have to see it for yourself. But there's what stood out for me about this album is a band called Bethlehem. They're a metal band, like experimental metal band from Germany. I don't know if they're still around, but I've never heard. It wasn't Bethlehem. They're a strange band. They're German, first of all, but
right.
the screams that this guy lets out, I don't think I've heard anything quite like it since. Really just I don't want to say powerful. That's the wrong word. Really off-putting. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the Gummo soundtrack. Also includes a track from the controversial Birdsum, who's it's actually a very good song. But yeah, so that's the Gummo soundtrack.
I just looked up the movie, the overview on it, and it sounds a little twisted.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is. And the soundtrack is a little bit too, but
well, that would match then.
Yeah.
You know, I have a soundtrack that I love, but it's also weird like that. And it's just a mix of all different bands. And that's Wild at Heart.
Okay.
The Nicolas Cage movie.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a weird mix, but somehow it works.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that soundtrack. Yeah. And my wife wanted to mention that she bought this. This is hard to find on vinyl.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
So she got some bonus points with the Drac, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. And what'd you do back for her?
I showed it off on the 1011.
Oh. Yeah, you're kind of underwhelmed there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Yeah.
Well, now that you've been caught for the rest of time on a live stream, you better come up with something really good.
Right?
Yeah, I hope so. Oh man. Okay.
Moving right along.
Next.
Number 9. Yes.
Okay. So as I mentioned, the Gummo soundtrack has some black metal bands, a genre I'm also a big fan of. And speaking of course, black metal is that is largely kind of associated with Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, a lot of dark evil imagery, much like this. I mean, here's like a typical black metal album cover, right? This is a band, Spectral Wound, actually Canadian. So there's some Canadian content, not Norwegian, but so yeah, you usually think of dark satanic Norwegian guys. That's typically what most people think of when they think of black metal. But there's this band Black Braid, and this is the first album from Black Braid.
Oh, cool cover art.
And yeah, this is by an artist named Adrian Baxter. And so Black Braid are not a Norwegian band. They're actually they hail from the Adirondack Mountains in New York State. And so Black Braid started as a one-man project. And it's essentially indigenous black metal. It's like the themes are all about Native American history and
nice.
and connection with nature. And yeah, so it started out as John Krieg, I believe his name was. He wrote and recorded all the instruments on this first album. And as far as black metal goes, they are absolutely one of my favorite bands right now, and just one of my favorite metal bands in general.
I do love that cover a lot. That art is great.
And then there's
oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah. So
somebody's watching the hockey game, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know what happened, but
I don't either, but I can hear the same echoing upstairs in my house. So something happened.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, Black Braid. Really excellent. They're actually, and they're not the only like indigenous black metal band. There's kind of in recent years, there's been a few that have popped up of these kind of black metal bands that whose members are Native American, and they bring that into their music, but still very much. But a lot of it still sounds like what guys in Norway are doing. They're just not, just
not Norwegian.
They're not Norwegian. No, they've got their own culture and their own stories, and but it works very well with the music. So, yeah, Black Braid also very highly recommended. I know Jen, Comics Will Break Your Heart, was a big fan of this band as well. We had chatted a bit about them when their last album came out, which was really good. So,
well, and you've seen a rise in indigenous music too in the last like 5 to 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and if metal is your thing, you can find that as well. So,
especially with streaming platforms now and apps like Instagram and stuff, you see a lot more of the groups popping up, and you see them in your feed. And but it's a great new way to discover like some niche things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
Very
it's
nice.
just this is an excellent album. They have two albums out now, both incredible. So check out Black Braid, guys. Yeah.
All right. Number 10, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Are you drinking a frosty Canadian beverage?
I mean, it's Sapporo, but it's brewed in Canada. So, yeah.
You've been busted twice now on the show.
Yeah. I just realized the only actually no, I've got one. Never mind. I have one Canadian album out of all of this. So that I didn't do that on purpose, but
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually almost put a Neil Young album in here, but went with something else.
See, I have a favorite Canadian group, but it was weird because I got people around me into them who had never heard of them. That was the Tragically Hip.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Man, they were like the main group I listened to for like a good 6-7 year period. It was just all Tragically Hip.
Yeah.
Yep.
And sad the way he died too, Gordy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely horrible.
All right, moving along.
Moving on to that happy note.
Right.
On a happy note with a very also
Okay.
I don't know if you would call this happy, but I have one more metal album, but I had to talk about this. But This is Bell Witch. This band is called Bell Witch, and the album is called Mirror Reaper.
That is really cool.
That cover's wow.
That reminds me of a robbery. The Mirrors Are Twos and Thum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of, I forget the artist's name, but it reminds me a lot of Zdzisław Beksinski, the Polish artist. Very similar to this.
Wow.
But Bell Witch are an American band. I think they're from Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. And they take their name from the legend of the Bell Witch, which is like an old kind of folklore tale about like a witch, essentially, that lived I don't know, in a bell. No, the name comes from Bell Cave or something. But yeah, so they got their name from the Bell Witch story. And this is really heavy, slow doom sludge metal, I guess you could say, which is stuff I'm usually not into. But when I heard them, they're just on a whole other level. This is two people. So you have one guy that does vocals and plays guitar, and the other is the drummer and does vocals. So it's just guitar and drums, but the intense sound that they create between them, I can't put it into words. It's really
Simon and Garfunkel.
Really amazing. Yeah, it's really, really incredible. They're really talented musicians, and they really go. This takes you on a very long journey. So this album, Mirror Reaper, is one long track. It's all one song.
Oh wow.
And so, of course, the problem with the vinyl is you got to flip it over, but it is all one long song.
Wow, it's a lot of song if you have to flip the vinyl.
Yeah. And the insides also.
Oh, nice.
That's just there we go.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great piece of art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bell Witch, it's hard to describe because, to say something like, oh, they're like doom metal or like slow heavy metal, that doesn't really do them justice at all. because it's actually pretty nuanced, and
Just hard to
they do have a
categorize.
kind of a quiet, loud, quiet thing happening, and yeah, they're definitely one of those bands that's difficult to describe. You really just have to check them out. And yeah.
So you
So
have to have some time because it says the album's 83 minutes long.
yeah, it's an 83-minute long song. Yeah. Essentially.
Wow.
Well,
And
it's funny, Mark, because I think all our guests, especially when you and I are on together, always see us on our phones Googling a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, because we want to figure out what it is that we're looking at. Like the artist, I'm going to really mess up the name, Mariusz Lewandowski. Did that art. And I mean that's impressive. Like the color and that's a cool cover.
Well, it's just it has an atmosphere to it. It's nice.
Does it ever? Yeah.
Also Bellwitch, I've seen them live twice now, and easily one of my favorite live bands I've ever seen. Last time they played here in Toronto, they played at a church actually, and it was just incredible. Their sound is amazing. Really heavy. Yeah. Really good stuff.
Cool. Yes, I got them. I'll have to check them out. All right. So that brings us to your story one.
Okay. I mean, I don't really have a story per se, other than they are one of my favorite bands ever, and they also happen to be Canadian.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, so this is actually an EP, 2-song EP, Slow Riot for New Zero Canada, and the band is Godspeed You Black Emperor. And Godspeed formed in the I guess early 90s, and they were kind of at the forefront of like what people were calling post rock. It was kind of like a catch-all. Post rock was like kind of a catch-all phrase for these bands that were doing primarily instrumental music, but like, with like kind of a heavier sound. Bands like Mogwai from Scotland and Tortoise, and then Godspeed kind of got lumped in with them, but they are, I think, very different from either of those bands. And there's a back cover, pretty cool. So Godspeed are they're instrumental. I don't know how many members are in the band, typically maybe 7 or 8, but there's a lot of distorted guitars, cellos, violins, drums, and another band that's very hard to describe other than to say that they're very intense and can be very loud at times, but also like Bellwitch to go from quiet, loud, but they build up to they're really intense because they're really good at like drawing you in with like a certain rhythm or something, and then just building and building and building. And I can't recommend Godspeed enough. Also, probably my favorite live band ever. I've seen them 3 or 4 times. Wow. And they don't play very often. I'm actually surprised. They played, I think, a few times recently in the past few years, but they're also a band that for a long time people didn't know much about them. They didn't do interviews or anything, and they would just randomly, even now, they don't like announce, oh, we're putting out an album next year. They'll just like pop up with a new album and maybe some random shows. Luckily, living in Toronto, I've had the opportunity to see them a few times because they're not a band that tours very much. So, yeah, and the interesting thing about Godspeed is even though they're like an instrumental band, all of their albums do have somewhat of a political, like they clearly have they're not shy with their political views, and
Right.
they do manage to kind of work that in to a
Yeah, so
lot of their
it's got
albums.
an agenda.
Yeah, a little bit. And but it's but it's typically not a very optimistic one. It's like, yeah, the world is shit. We're going to shit, basically. Yeah, things are falling apart. But and they're basically kind of making this. It's almost like a soundtrack to the apocalypse in a way, but it's very beautiful music. It really is. Some of
The
it's
most beautiful apocalypse ever.
yeah,
Enjoy-
because
enjoy the trip.
well, what Godspeed does best is they go from they make incredibly sad sounding music to very just really uplifting almost, and then a lot of noisy stuff in between too. So yeah, there's no other band like Godspeed You Black Emperor, whose name comes from a movie about a Japanese motorcycle club.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite apocalypse album.
Yeah. They might be my favorite Canadian band ever. They're certainly up there. Yeah.
I've heard a lot about them. I mean, I've never heard bad things about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know Lady Fantastic digs them a lot. So
I think my favorite world-ending song is "One Last Night on Earth" by Data Life, which is
I don't know if I don't think I know that
you
one.
probably wouldn't. It's EDM music.
I've heard of Data Life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they have some fun songs like Rolling Stone T-shirt, Kick Out the Epic Motherfucker, and a bunch of
Yeah, I know that one. That's a good song. Yeah.
But like there's stuff that's not as popular, I think is even better. It's funny because you find that with a lot of groups you get into, right? Their hits are great. And then when you dive into their album, and sometimes the rest of the album just sucks and it's just that one song that's good. But sometimes you dive into albums and you're like, wow, everything else is better than this song. Why didn't they release any of this?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm also happy to say that this actual album physically is in good shape because I bought this the last time I saw them live, and when I left the venue it was just pouring rain and I just had to like try and keep this as dry as possible.
Right.
It made it home okay. So.
Now,
Good.
well, was it wrapped in plastic at least when you bought it?
It did, but it was that kind of rain where that wasn't gonna help much.
It wouldn't have mattered, huh?
Yeah.
Or was it?
So yeah,
I'm trying to see how many albums they have out.
Godspeed have, oh man, they've got a
been around
bunch
for a bit, right?
They have, yeah.
Yeah.
They put out one last year that was very good.
Nice. All right. So what is your sleeper pick?
Okay, my sleeper pick. This is an interesting one. Did you ever see that documentary Searching for Sugar Man?
I did not.
Mm-mm.
That's a really great music documentary. So Searching for Sugar Man was about basically like the rediscovery of this musician Rodriguez, and Rodriguez was kind of like it's about how I guess the filmmaker discovered this guy's music, and like it was incredible. This guy was like kind of an up and comer in the 60s during like the whole folk scene with like Bob Dylan, that whole scene. And Rodriguez should have been like the next Bob Dylan, and then
Right.
he just disappeared.
Wow.
And then I don't want to give away the documentary, but you should watch Searching for Sugar Man.
Yeah, I never even heard of that documentary.
It's very good. Yeah. And I'm not going to show a Rodriguez album. I don't have one, but his music is very good. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I only bring it up because I've kind of been thinking about doing a Searching for Sugar Man style documentary myself, because I kind of want to dig a little deeper and find out more about this guy, because how he wasn't the next Bob Dylan, it kind of is astounding. So
Wow.
this guy was like a singer songwriter in the 60s as well. And yeah, I don't know, like I said, I'm just getting started, just discovering this guy. So I don't know where he is now, but I'm going to be looking into it. So this is his name is Charles Manson, singer-songwriter from the 60s. And it's kind of like, it's really interesting. He plays guitar and sings. He's got a really unique sound. And apparently this guy was like, I think, friends with one of the Beach Boys. And so I don't know. I got to do some more research on him and do a little digging and find out more. It'd be cool if he I don't know if he ever recorded with the Beach Boys, but he did record his own stuff, and it's pretty interesting, pretty cool stuff. This guy Charles Manson. So cool. Yeah, there he is. Now, if you guys ever heard of him?
Right. Oh yeah,
Maybe just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Okay. Got like a handwritten note on the back. His writing's kind of messy, so I can't really make out what it says.
It's nice they gave a picture before he gave himself his own tattoo on the forehead.
Yeah.
Right.
And this was put out by Awareness Records in this is from 1987. I don't know when this was recorded. Sometime in the 60s. And then there's an interview with Charles on the back, actually. I don't know if you want me to read some excerpts from it. He says something about I see big fat people coming around with guns, shooting lizards, spiders, birds, just killing and killing. They're all programmed to kill. So it's interesting.
That's weird, because I was looking up the Sugarman guy, and he seems like a happy dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, Charles. Maybe that's just. I don't know. I don't know if happy.
Sugarman, huh?
I don't know if he's that happy, but
Well, yeah. Well, Manson, no.
No, Manson's not happy at all. But Searching for Sugar Man even won an Academy Award in 2013.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's really good. Yeah, you should watch it.
I'd watch that.
He died. He died at his home in Detroit when he was 81. Oh, he had a couple strokes.
Oh, did he?
I'm ruining the documentary.
Yes, you are.
Well, anyways, yeah, I think someone should make a documentary about this guy because his music's really interesting.
Yeah, there's probably been only about 20 or 30 of them.
Yeah, there's a few of those. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Leave it to you, Drac, to end on Manson.
Yeah.
Well, it's just cool that you guys have heard of him because I thought,
you had such a nice show, and then you ended on Manson.
And then you did that.
He did. He completely snookered us all the way through, and then pulls out Manson at the end. Oh.
Yeah. So, that's my sleeper pick, right?
Oh, it's sleeping.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are great choices, though. Aside from the Manson.
It's so sad when they drop the ball.
It's very subjective. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I don't know if he ever did anything with Marilyn Manson, but I think it was too early. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, Marilyn Manson. A lot of people give that dude grief. I like his stuff. Like whenever he puts out a song,
Yeah.
I liked it. Like,
I was huge into Manson in high school. Yeah, Marilyn Manson, that is.
but his
yeah.
good clarification.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad you
yeah.
clarified
But it
that.
was
Right.
but his music has a lot of different things going on in it at the same time. Like his music is it's really good. I like Marilyn Manson stuff a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't want to give it a chance because of his appearance. It's like, just listen, guys. There's a lot going on in there.
Yeah.
Great commentary. Yeah. Oh, she's seeing Manson next month. Nice.
There you go.
All right, but good show as always, Drac. It wouldn't be you without snookering us into something at some point. So
Right.
you waited till the end for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it was worth it to see the look on Mark's face, though.
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah. Thank you for having me on and allowing me to show off my my obscure find here. I just glad I got to show that to somebody. So
There you go.
yeah.
Although I was hoping to see some Tragically Hip, but it's okay.
Next time.
Oh, that's what you were. Yeah, I don't have any on vinyl. Oh, I do want to mention that Charles Manson album actually belongs to my wife. I would never buy such a thing.
So you sleep easily next to her?
Yeah.
Restfully, Jack?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good thing she was watching hockey when you admitted that you didn't do anything in return for her when she gave you that album.
I just said I showed it off on the 1011.
There you go.
And that one too. So.
And that one too.
Yeah.
But good stuff. All right, we're gonna go around the table like we always do. All seriousness, Adrian, always a fun time, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course, man. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, you have something coming up on Joe's channel, right?
Yep. Tomorrow night on the what is tomorrow? The 26th?
Yeah, Anachronic Comics.
Anachronic Comics, Espresso Mail Call. Me and a bunch of the fellows are going to show our latest picks for the month, what we found, digging and diving into bins and whatnot. And it's always a good show. Tune in because we have an eclectic group of guys on the show, and they're always bringing weird and wonderful stuff that we found. Something you might even like, Gary.
I'm sure. Well, I'll be watching. I usually am. So, I'll definitely stay tuned for tomorrow night. All right, coming up for me next week, we have Bleeker on Tuesday doing his horror episode. And then on the 1st, we have Big Nasty making his 1011 debut, Big Nasty Comics. So next week should be a whole lot of fun, and can't wait to see what everyone's bringing. I know Bleak's going to have some great horror, and I'm looking forward to meeting Big Nasty because another person I've yet to meet in the community. So one more I get to check off the box. And a lot of the new guys we've had on this last month have been killing it when they come on with some great books and some great stories. And it's just always fun meeting new people in the community. But having said that, if you're new in the community and you happen to see the show, and if you want to book a future episode with you on it, reach out to me on Instagram and message me, Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy, and we will set something up for you in the future. I'm usually scheduling a couple months ahead. But Adrian, with that, what is coming up for you, sir? Anything on the horizon besides your Manson documentary?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'll be working on now. No, in terms of my channel, I don't really have much planned right now. However, speaking of Mr. Bleecker Street Comics, our pre-launch campaign for our Kickstarter just dropped yesterday, and that is for a project called Murder King.
And Callie Comics, got to mention him
written
too.
by Bleecker and Callie. I'm doing the artwork. We have some great cover from some other artists as well. And so, yeah, you can now go to Kickstarter, look up Murder King, and you can hit that to get get notified for when the campaign does actually launch.
And I had already did that earlier, and I have
great
the notifications on.
Awesome. Yeah.
Just because I'm going to go say Drax okay, but he's no Manson when I write my review.
no murder king, right?
Yeah. He's all right.
He's okay.
I mean, technically, Manson wasn't a murder king. And who did he murder? Like, he had people do it for him. So.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm working on the comic
sooner than later too, because I was talking to Kelly earlier. And, I'm definitely going to do a show for you guys to promote the book.
Okay,
so we'll
awesome.
have you guys on, talk about it. You guys can promote it. The one cover that's on the Kickstarter now is amazing. It's a great cover.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's there's got Loke did a really good cover. Got Austin LeMay, Norrin Rad. Yeah, so some really great covers. And then I just have to draw the pages. Not a big deal, So
yeah.
All right, but I have a question though.
That's what I'll be busy with for the next while. Yeah.
In your comic layouts, did you happen to fit a Canadian bag of milk in there anywhere?
There's still time to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Adrian, thanks for coming on. Seriously, dude, always fun, bud. Thank you. Thank you for always coming on my stupid little show and hanging out. I appreciate it.
Oh, I always have a great time. Yeah, Gary. So thank you once again for having me.
And Mark, thanks for stepping in and co-hosting too, man. I always like having you on the channel.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me, Gary.
And with that, guys, thank you both so much, and also thank you to the great live chat we had going tonight. And if you're catching this on the rewind, thank you guys very much. You can go follow Mark on Instagram and the link provided below. I think I have to go edit that because I think I forgot to put your link in when I set up the show last night. Adrian's links are in there, so go sub up Adrian for his future content and for all things Manson, and for and and also though follow him on IG. But seriously, you'll get some cool stuff over on Adrian's channel. Check out his backlog content, and he will be back with some fresh content with new episodes. He's always got a unique spin on things. Please go check him out. And with that, guys, you know how we like to end this thing. We're going to say thank you very much for watching and keep it casual.